Hi and welcome back. So in the last video we created this code, and now we want to take this code so that we can make sure that those numbers are visible here. And the way that I'm going to do that, I'm just going to copy this and Control+C, then I will come back into our script. And you do remember all of this. If you don't, go back to the section where we took a detour and you will learn all this once again. So the part that we are mostly interested in is this section whereby you can add an element in an ID. So if we come back to our HTML, we want to add it in this ID. You see this ID which is empty, heading 2. We want to select that element and then we want to add some things inside of it. So let me come down here and just comment it as loops so that when you get these files, you'll know what was being done here. Loops and labels. So if I copy that in here, let me comment this one out. So this part is the part that is responsible for saying this, I have been added. I just want to comment that out, Control-Shift, and that will comment this one out for me. Control-Shift / on my Windows will comment all of this. But I just realized I don't need to comment everything, I just need to comment this one, because I want to use this very variable. So if I come here, say control that, and then I want to take this, Control+C, and inside of console here, where we're doing a console, I want such that the value of I is being output for us here. This part is where we want to add, this. We want to add the values of I. This is what we are going to replace, have been added. You see that? So we want to replace it with the values of I. So add heading.innerHTML is equals to the value of I. So let's do a plus in front of this so that it will add them, all of them. It's going to list everything for us. And then also we want to add a space between them. So remove this, add that space. So just with this, if we run this, it's going to give us the value of I, and it's going to put that value right here. So if I run this, you see it gives us this. It gives us 1 once, twice, 2 twice, 3 thrice, 4 times. So that's what we wanted to see before we actually delved into how you can use these labels. Now you can see here we have two labels. The first label, you can see here we have two labels. The first label is for the outside loop, that which covers everything, the entire loop here. And then we also have the inside label. So how you can use labels is that, so for this one, let's say that we want it such that if we reach a certain point, we just break out of it. So let's say if at some point the value of I, if the value of I is equivalent to 3, then let's break out. So we can just do it in one line. Break out of, what's the name of the loop? Break outside of out loop. So if I is equals to 3, break out loop. So this will run outside of this loop, it will go outside of it. If I save this and the value of I becomes 3, let's see what happens. So if we don't have that section of break, this is what we'll have. But what if we do that? You see it will only print that, and it will print the first 3. And the reason it prints the first 3 is because this is below. So what if I take it Control+X and I put it at the very top here, and let's see if it's going to print that 3. So it's not going to print it. Now, what if we say that we just want such that when j is equals to 3, we loop out of it. So when j is equals to 3, let's see. If we run that, you'll see that nothing really happens when j is equals to 3. What if when j is equals to 2? So when j is equals to 2, at least it will break out. So let me explain this code and how it runs. So we've seen how you can use the loops, okay? So how you can use the labels in the loops. You can just give a loop a name, and if there's another loop inside of it, if something happens, you can break outside of the loop. So here what I'm doing, you have to note that in C-based programming languages, if something is just one line, you don't have to put it inside of the curly braces. So this is just essentially the same as doing this. Okay? So if it's just one line, you don't really have to put it inside of the curly braces. This is just the same thing. But let's take this back to I. So if I is equals to 2, it will stop running at 1. So you can break out of it. When I is equals to 4, you can run, you can break out of it. So let me come here and explain this code on its own. Okay, so what I'll do, I will do print the screen, then I open a new window of smooth draw, then paste in the code in there, and then we come to this section. Now what I want to do is to explain this code to you, how it works. So the way this code works is, if we start with I is equals to 0, let's just say this is I and this is j. So when I is equals to 0, this condition, it will come in here to check this loop. It's going to come in here when I is equals to 0. It's going to come in here to check, and then at this point j is being given the value of 0. Every time we go into this loop, the value of j will always be initialized to 0. So at this point, when I is equals to 0, the value of j has been initialized to 0, and then j, we check the condition of j against I. At this point, j is 0, I is 0. So this condition is false. So we don't even have to do anything else. We'll just go outside. So when I is 0, j is 0. And then we'll just go outside of the loop because that is false. So we'll come back here. And then now the value of I becomes 1. Now once the value of I is 1, we go back inside here. We go back inside of this loop to see. Right now the value of j will be 0. Every time we come back into the inside loop, the value of j will be put at 0. So we go and we check. J at this point is 0 and I is equals to 1. So that means 1, j is 0 and I is 1. So the condition becomes true. So if the condition is true, it will come inside here and it is going to print the value of I. So let's do another one down here called print. So when I is equals to 0, j is 0, then we print the value of I, which is 1. And then it will come back here. The value of j is 0. That's what's important here. So it will come back here, increment it by 1. And once it checks that I, which is 1, is not less than 1, at this point j is equals to 1. So 1 less than 1 is not true. So it will go back again outside of the loop. Now when it comes outside of the loop, right now the value of I will become 2. So if the value of I is 2, we come back into the loop, the value of j becomes 0 again, and then we confirm this one. If j is 0, and then I at this point is 2. I is 2, so this becomes true. Then we go inside the loop and we print at 2. When the value of I of j is 0, we are going to print the value of I, which is 2. Bear that in mind here. And then it will go back into the loop, which is still inside here. It will increment the value of j by 1, so it becomes 1. So if I, j, which now is equals to 1, is it less than 2? That is true. So it's going to print the value of 2. And then the value of j becomes 2 when we go back up here again. And when it comes back, now it becomes 2. So is 2, which is the value of current j, less than 2? If 2 is less than 2, this is false. And therefore, it's not going to print another value of I. And what if the value of, then it goes back up and the value of I becomes 3. The value of I is 3. Is 3 less than 0? Is 0 less than 3? Yes, we're going to print the value of 3. Is 1 less than 3? Yes, we're going to print the value of 3 again. Is 2 less than 3? Yes, we're going to print the value of 3 again. Is 3 less than 3? No. So we'll move on to the next one. And it's going to be like that until we get to a point where I becomes 5. When I becomes 5, that means that this condition will now be false, because 5 is not less than 5. And that is why when we print our elements without our break here, if we comment out our break, Control+Shift+N, that's why when we print these elements, they only go up to 4. So if you want it to go up to 5, maybe you will have to make this less or equal. If you make it less than equal or equal, it's going to print them up to 5, you see, and this will be 5 5s. So that's it for this video, and what we were learning, basically, essentially, the fundamental was labels. So we wanted to learn how you can use labels. So in this case, you see, if you give your loops different labels, you can call it somewhere within your code, and you can break out of it and use it however you wish. So this is just something that you should know, so that if you ever come across a situation where you want to use it, or you come across it in someone else's code, you'll know exactly what you're dealing with or what you're looking at. So that's it for this video, and if you have any questions, make sure you let me know. I will see you next time. And that's the end of this section on loops. Until next time.